Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hey there. Where's the foot switch? All right. Is this the radio check frequency?
Oh, good. I thought something was broken.
Well, hopefully this isn't the broken radio check frequency. All right, maybe double check. I've got everything up and running here. The wind is really playing havoc with the antennas tonight, so hopefully everything will be okay. Let's see what happens. I know the jingle singers are ready. I'm looking to see if X4000 and affiliate items are somewhere near the microphonium here tonight. Looks like they are.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
That would be OTR, your Saturday night place to be. Got to keep the transmitter going if I'm going to talk here. Anyway, hello, everybody. The Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, your net control operator for the evening, reminding you that the OTR is the place to be for your Saturday night evening pleasure and your fill of glow-in-the-dark 11-meter radios. We hope that our collectors will be out there tonight, where hopefully they're sheltering in place somewhere in the radio room, in the Radio Shack, by the tube radios, and will give us what they can tonight when we start glowing in the dark. First, of course, we'll be checking in with our shortwave listeners, the SWLs, with the roll call. Somewhere I have a roll call list. Here it is. This is week 8 of our 8-week roster, going up to our 00, which is Mr. JT SWL 21, when he's not masquerading as 00, who was on the old radio night tonight. On what radio was it? It was something I didn't know what it was. Just showing the S meter. Galaxy something. Where do we have audio? Was something I didn't. Okay, I thought maybe we had audio for that from the old radio night.
I'm still
there. He is
getting this room straightened out. I'm looking at the back of the Yazoo right now, and I see the fan on it and some other stuff right there. So I'm gonna be getting it out one day.
I don't know what radio he was on, but I do believe I see DD21 from the Wasama Swamp saying hello to everybody. So we got you checked in, and as always, somehow whatever radio you're on seems to generate a hole in the ozone layer so that Skip comes through. Talking Skip, I haven't heard, I think I heard South America come through for about 1 minute here today. But I do have you checked in. Let me hit the right button here and make it official. There we go. Of course, a cosmic check-in for SWL number 1. Mr. YLS, Dr. J, and also, I'm not sure if he's still out there. I think he checked in and checked out early. Mr. OBP, recuperating from the big surgery. If you're listening, Kevin, it sounds like all went well, and usually with those things, it takes a while. Not as long as it used to. 15 or 20 years ago, it took a longer time, but no doubt you will feel much better when you are fully mended. So we'll be hoping for a quick recovery. Over to SWL3. Getting a check-in for Rob From Facebook over to SWL4. SWL5. SWL6. SWL7.
SWL7 checking in.
All right, sounding good. Hopefully your QRM and QRN are at a minimal item tonight.
So far, so good. We'll keep the fingers crossed.
Okay, and I will ask you for a radio check. Does the audio sound okay on this thing?
Sounds fine here.
All right. Good enough. We'll see how it works on the far out stations. Here in Direct Net Roll Call, page 1 if you're playing the home game, following along. Getting started here, looking for, we jump well ahead to SWL 13. Let me take a look on the big page where it is indeed you can check in and wave a hand at oldtuberadio.net. Also on the Facebook page, I will go back and look at that occasionally. And if you've checked in, I will make sure that you get checked in. And maybe you are saying hello from on the video streaming page, which I will keep an eye out as well. SWL 14. From the big town of Easton, SWL 15. SWL 16. Shortwave listener 17. SWL 18. SWL 19. And yes, indeed, after the roll call, we will be talking about and talking with the big tube radios. SWL 20.
Number 20 here. We check in 29 and 54, if you would. And hopefully, if I don't fall asleep like I did last week, I'll be back and checking in a nice radio I got from a friend back in Indiana, Jack, who kind of restores radios somewhat and works on them. Sent me a whole bunch of radios, and the one I'm going to check in is one of them. So hopefully, if I don't fall asleep, I'll be back later.
All right, well, hopefully we will be doing something that will help keep you awake, help keep me awake, help keep us all awake. And when it comes time to talk and check in the radios, you will be there with the interesting finds from Indiana. So I wonder if hope you told that station, that person, where he might hear the radio tonight by checking into oldtuberadio.net, like many of you are, from way up in the balcony, Garibaldi, British Columbia. Hello to Canby, Oregon. We're coming up to you. We've got the UK, Centerville, Virginia, Somerville, South Carolina. Our, is it Duo, Trio, and more from Squamish listening in. Hello to, or near Quitman, Texas. Woodland Park, Colorado, always listening, always waiting for the conditions to happen. Dallas, Georgia, coming up to you. Hello to Auberry and to San Francisco. We heard X4000 at the beginning of the program here. Hello to Fresno, San Jose, New Jersey, and right down there in the footlights. Been listening to my testing and babbling all afternoon here in New York. So hello to all of you listening in. SWL 21, checked in as 00, and yet again, from the Wasama swamps of South Carolina, and letting me know that that was a Galaxy Saturn. I am absolutely not familiar at all with that radio. It has a cool looking S-meter, and the audio was pretty good, and as always, JT, you're able to bring out the skipland with old radio night. Thanks for serving the citizen radio community with radios of all sorts. Over to SWL 22. Mark in East Texas. I will keep an eye out for those checking in. And let's see. You know, I saw, was it San Jose? I don't know where he secretly hides out these days. But SWL 23 Mitch and the gang over there. Don't see him on the video yet. How about SWL 24? SWL 25?
Hello, Dennis. 25 checking in.
25, you are sounding good, and your sideband radio sounded good on the Friday night net as well. I think you got a keeper there.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. I'm going to try a little something to get a little more closer on transmit frequency. So, but we'll play around with it next Friday. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. Anyway, thank you, Dennis.
All right. Thanks for checking in. We get to turn the page, and that takes us to SWL 27. I'll get Dwayne checked in from an earlier 2-meter contact. He is still got all the antennas laying in the wrong, either disconnected or laying into the wrong spot, but he'll have that remedied at some point. Over to SWL 28. Checking in Mr. Loner, SWL 29. Trying to get that foot switch position. I don't know why I have so much trouble. It shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard to stomp on the switch to get the transmitter going. SWL 30. SWL 31. Robert Teresa in Hendersonville. I don't believe I saw them, at least from the Hendersonville location. I will keep an eye out in case they are at some other remote location. Checking in. Over to SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers, and all the ships at sea that may wander into the green room tonight. Checking in through this microphonium. Over to SWL 34. SWL 35, Mr. Bill, WGJ. Waiting to hear his call, and we get some 10-meter skip coming in, or he's got the wherewithal. He's got a big gun station, so when we start getting some of the E-skip, no doubt we will be hearing Mr. Bill live and direct checking in. He has done it. He has done it before. So, Bill, we've got you checked in from a Cheyenne. Over to SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37.
37 here, and question.
This is the question frequency. Go ahead.
What channel you guys on Friday night when you're doing that?
The Friday night sideband net begins at 8 p.m. It is what's known as 36 lower, which would be 27.365 on Friday's sideband at 8 p.m. Over.
I'm going to have to check into it next week. Yeah, it is.
That's right. You've got a decent radio that will do quite nicely, and Jeremy has a good receiver and good ears, so he will get you checked in. Get on the roll call.
All right, we'll catch you guys out there. In the meantime, I'm out and waiting for the rest.
Okay, like you, me too. The glow-in-the-dark radio is coming up after the roll call here. Looking for SWL 38. SWL 39. SWL 40. And I look across the desk here. I see the crossband radios on. I'm not sure if the audio is turned up or not. SWL 41. SWL 42. And with a lot of people not doing the normal things they have been doing, I've noticed there's been a lot of activity on Facebook, people fixing radios, people buying radios, people getting their antennas ready, and getting on locally, and when the conditions permit, doing a little DX as well, which is now legal, right? The FCC said you can talk farther than 155.5 miles. You just have to still be, whatever, crystal controlled, yeah. And antenna height where it's supposed to be, yeah. And output power, 5-watt DC input, or maybe a little bit more for sideband, yeah. But you can officially talk in the DX mode, so that's a good thing. How about SWL43? And let's go back. There it is. It's the delay. It's the delay thing. He was there on time. SWL41. I'm going to go back and mark the check-in. Road Dog 507, or is it 507, checking in from Hudson Valley, New York, where it is a lot later than you think. It's a lot later than it is here. So, all right, Road Dog, we've got you checked in. Sounding good. In the land of the Big Iron, where all those guys on the East Coast, they just slam in on AM on 75 and 40 meters. I wish I had a better antenna to have them try and pull my piss weak signal out. As HLR would say, let's try SWL 43. You know, and I didn't have all the equipment necessary to try and do the Facebook Live thing, which is going to take a whole bunch more equipment. So I think I have or will have the Echo Link set up again tonight. So we'll maybe have that up and running. I believe it's in the audio board. No guarantees because I may have broken something, but it's sort of in the ready. The station I know is around listening, perhaps live. We'll see, SWL 44. Okay, live and direct. The wind is sort of playing around with my slowly disintegrating Starduster antenna. I noticed my SWRs were floating around, and it is, you can see from the floor and the fauna in the back there that it is a bit breezy, but the audio and signal of 360 is beaconing into Midtown Fresno quite well. Thanks, Ray. Then let's head over to North Fork, where it's probably breezy as well, SWL 45.
Hi, Dennis. You're sounding good, but you got a high-pitched carrier riding with you all the time, every time you key up. None of the other stations are doing this. I don't know if it's on my end or not, but both my radios are excited if you're having that carrier call you. I hope I'm not wrong. It might be in my end. But anyway, back to you.
All right, I'm not monitoring my output. I could swap some headphones around. I could have, what do I have on the audio board that shouldn't be on? Could be all sorts of things. It could be something actually on my audio signal. I don't know. We need, you know what we need? We need Jeremy's spectrum scope. That would tell us true if there was some affiliating signal interference going on there. You sound good, Paul, regardless, and we will be talking with you if you hang out in the radio room tonight.
It might clear itself. You never know. Thanks, Daddy.
All right, thanks for checking in. Let's see, who else is out that I should be saying hello? Hello to Butterbean is listening in on, or watching in, I guess, on the video. OBP was in there earlier. X4000, who is probably somewhere out in the green room, because we do expect a few more top-of-the-hour performances. Hello to the mighty Juliet Whiskey, John in Iowa, on the key, KJG4755. The mighty KUH Brian in the radio room tonight. I'm not sure if he's sitting in the classic section, the continental section, the old tube radio section, but he is in the radio room tonight. Hello, Brian. Oh, and Toby, Midwest Audio. The land of hi-fi audio and things of that nature. Checking in and waving a hand. I probably have a whole bunch of his Facebook stuff marked to be used, but Facebook is weird. It's like this roaring freight train. You mark something on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and when you come back on Saturday, it's like, where did it go? Because there's all this other stuff happening. So if I find something out, maybe we'll be sharing some photos. You never know if I don't break things. Hello to Wildman, SC81, Doug 230 in the diesel car. I hope diesel fuel is as economical as the non-diesel fuel these days. Prices have come down, not so much in California, I guess, comparatively, but it's way below where it used to be. All right, continuing on. The Chowchilla station, beaconing here into Midtown Fresno. Hello, Rush, 46. Yeah, am I making it out to Chowchilla this afternoon? Over. Yeah, I think I'm trying to make it out to Chowchilla. Hello, 7144. All right, we'll get Rush checked in. I think I'm not quite making it to Chowchilla. We don't seem to have the conditions tonight on the ground wave as we normally do. But Rush, if you're listening, 46 in Chowchilla, I've got you checked in. Let's get a little bit closer to home. SWL 47.
Well, greetings, OTR from the Radio Lounge, SWL 47. I hope you were doing well as everyone else. And I think I did catch that station from Chowchilla. Came right in. I think you pronounced it better than I did.
Well, I think when they made their debut on national television back in the mid-'70s, was it Walter Cronkite who called it Chowchilla, which I suppose is the correct pronunciation if you don't live close by. You are sounding good, and we've got you checked in.
Oh, good. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. 73.
Yeah, get on the right radio, buddy. KB6GFD. How about SWL 48? I'm going to check in Sam. I actually heard him on the side. I heard him on the sideband that Friday night, and he sounded good from Madera. How about another guy that sounded really great was this guy, SWL 49.
Hello, Dennis, and a big hello to all the Tube Radio enthusiasts out there. This is 49er checking in. Hope you guys are all doing good. Man, I've got a lot of noise tonight. When I in key, it's 7S units. I think horizontal polarization is in my near future. Also got the kids hanging out in the shop tonight.
Hi, Danny.
Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
So anyway, thank you for the check-in, Dennis, and again, hope you guys are all having a great night.
Having a great night. Great audio on the AM, and likewise, I've noticed my receiver tonight, it's just a lot of static. I've readjusted the RF gain a little bit heavier, so that may be affecting some of the far-out stations, but it was just driving me nuts. Hello to the crew, the other SWLs, the other shortwave listeners in the Radio Shack this evening, also sounding great here on the Old Tube Radio Network, beaconing at 27085. That's Channel 11 in the Central Valley, and across the Universal Media Netweb at oldtuberadio.net. Thank you. Then we go over to SWL 50.
Good evening, 50 checking in.
And SWL 50 is checking in. I will put the appropriate marks for the mark. Okay, we got you checked in. Over. Heading over to Sangertown or somewhere near it. 305. Hello, Dave.
Checking in. 305 out here, 51.
All right, he's got the whole room talking back to him tonight. It sounds good. You've got it dialed in. 51 is in. From behind the golden microphone and also waving a hand at on the video side is SWL 52 checking in early. Hello, Aaron. Got you checked in. Hope all is well at the homestead there. Yeah, Chowchilla. Thank you, X4000. Chowchilla is north of Tulare. I always tell me you get those out-of-town announcers doing your local spots for you. And, yes, I heard... Let's go over to... Aaron has checked in. SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. 53. Checking in on a windy day.
Yeah, it's blowing things around here. Hey, you sounded great Friday night on sideband. So keep checking in on that one. Thanks for stopping by tonight.
Okay, thank you.
And I think there was a breaking station. This is OTR. Wow, that was Crackle Time Theater. And at 2% audio, I think that was SWL 40. Give me a double key if it was.
Oh, okay. Now the swingometer is definitely here. That's it. Oh yeah. Okay, 40 checking in.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's working now. Your wiggle meters are wiggling. Your light bulbs are lighting their way the way they should and sounding good. I got you checked in. Over.
All right. Thank you very much. Very windy. The antenna is slightly horizontal, but it's still vertical.
True. Well, who was it that said they needed to be horizontally polar? Or was it 49? Yeah, maybe when I get some of my other wires hooked up, I'll do a little T or something, so I'll give myself a horizontal polarization as well as the vertical, and it might help out. I actually had something like that. I used to have some type of diagonal wire, and I remember Paul saying he could hear me both polarities, so that might be beneficial for DXing. Over to page 3, we'll keep the roll call going. The tube radios will be coming up shortly. SWL 54 checking in from who knows where. Mr. Board Jammer, just keeping an eye out to make sure all those radios that he put the Midas touch on are still checking in tonight. Hello to SWL 55.
55, checking in.
And always sounding good. That's what happens when you get your antenna up in a tree, and the tree happens to be, 4,000 feet in the air. That helps. You're sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah, the station, go ahead. This is OTR, over.
This is SWL 93. Want to do an early check-in because I'm stepping out.
All right, he's getting down. He's stepping up, stepping out, and sounding good. SWL 93. Louis, I've got you. I will have you checked in once I find you on the page, and thanks for remembering the Saturday night place to be.
Thank you much. We're clear.
And back over to page 3 for let's head down the road here a couple of miles to SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and Nanette. 56, just for kicks.
56. Hello, Grandpa. Phil, I'm going to put you with the X in the square. And do you have you checked into the sideband net on Fridays? Have I missed you?
No, I not last night, but the week before I did monitor, but I did not check in. Over.
Okay, I'm thinking you're sideband radio active for that frequently. I know I hear you on the 10-meter net. All right, just a reminder that there is something to do on Friday evenings. Besides rotate the antenna and look for Jackie Gleason, the Smothers Brothers, and Ed Sullivan. Thanks for checking in. And the station that knows how to... Let me do a little something here. I got to press a button. If I find the right device. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. The station that knows how to work the delay. SWL 57, right in my window. Checking in from a cluttered radio bench. Oh, yeah? That's why I have the camera such that it is. That you don't see all the clutter over here and over there, although you do see enough of it. 57 from the cluttered radio bench somewhere in south central Bluegrass. And good evening, saying it sounded good, and likewise to Central Kentucky, Worldwide Sideband. I say hello to all the Worldwide Sidebanders, WWS. What is your number? 1942. And I should also say hello to all the Facebook crew that may be tuning in tonight, the Antique CB Radio pre-1977. That's Crazy Bob, DJ Bob out there in the group. Hello to the CB Radio Lounge, CB Radio Connection, High Fidelity CB Radio, 11-meter CB junkies, vintage CB radio, the fans of Demco CB radio and related equipment. Will we get some Demco stations tonight? Vintage Tube CB radio, the worldwide sidebanders, Rich Anderson and the gang at CB Radio News, and all the ships at sea listening in to the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Let's go over to, who's next? SWL 58.
58, check it in. Hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday night, windy Saturday night. And Dennis, you're sounding good as always out here. We ended up with 19 check-ins last night, and appreciate all that checked in and all that were listening in. And thank you for doing the net, Dennis.
All right, and likewise, what 58, what Jerry's talking about is the sideband net that is at channel 36 lower on Friday night starting at 8 p.m. 27.365 if you have that kind of a readout dial. Everyone is welcome. New radios, old radios from anywhere. Do a roll call. Also has a web page. Let me see. Do I have any audio? That's interesting. Let's stop that. And let's go over to that.
One, Mark and
there he is. Here's a check-in.
Jeremy Nanette, right here in Prather, and everything is wonderful. Hope all are doing well.
This is an actual check-in.
Anyhow, nothing else besides that, Jeremy. Right back to you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mark, and thank you for checking in. Your signals come up a little bit.
And if you go...
I noticed that the other night, too, on the other net.
If you go to the web page, the Ditch Bank SSB net, he runs an SDR waterfall radio display, and you can actually see your signals and all the other signals checking in, and it's pretty cool. So write your post-it for that on Friday evenings at 8 p.m. at 27.365, plus or minus your frequency, and maybe there will be some skip coming up. Next, we've got SWL 59. SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. Doggone it, let me see where I unplugged or unplugged myself. Am I transmitting?
You are transmitting over.
Okay. Evening time to the SWLs and the old tubers there for sure that are going to come on here a little bit. Doggone it, let's get Big Jake's base checked in. The Galaxy, the DX2527. Doggone it, I must be unplugged somewhere, but you say I got audio.
You have audio. I'm not sure what you're monitoring, but if you have a wiggle meter, it's wiggling somewhere.
Yeah, everything seems to be wiggling except for my ears. I unplugged something, I guess. But anyway, we're checked in. Comment.
Yeah, you are checked in. Thanks, Joe. The 291 bass sounding good. And the comment, go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. Yeah, he usually sounds a lot stronger signal.
All right, Joe, if you're still there, take another transmission. I hear you, but now we're taking a look at your signal level. Over.
Okay. They're going to. I can't seem to find where I'm plugged in or not. Hello. Yeah. Something's happening here.
He's not even moving my needle now.
My wiggle meter's not wiggling.
Yeah, in fact, now that Mark cued me in, I've looked in the S meter, which is right in front of me here, and you are down probably 2 S units. So what is that, 10 dB? And that last transmission, the audio was a little bit weaker, and so was the signal, but I still hear you over.
Yeah, 10-4. Hey, okay. Let's see. I don't know. Did that help out any?
That helped out. That's the 2 S units we're looking for. Over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now she's starting to register. Hey, okay. Doggone it. Thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah, check out the coax jumpers and everything else. I don't know if you have to slap your radio or slap yourself or both, but it is you got your signal back, and I'm sure Mark is probably hearing you better now. Direct net roll call, the Old Tube Radio Network, real radio's glowing in the dark. Coming up, don't go away. Joe's checked in. Let's try SWL 61.
61, checking in, Dennis.
right, like clockwork. Copenhagen there. Dino, we got you checked in. Thanks.
Thanks, sir.
SWL 62. SWL 63. Bubba and the New York group, get them checked in. SWL 64. JT, I agree. Need more Demco bell. It has been a long time since we heard the Demco bell ring-a-linging. So see what we can do tonight. They're shining the flashlight up from the balcony, trying to get Net Control's attention. And it did work. Actually, you know what it was? They also threw some milk duds down here, which is okay. I like milk duds. We've got a check-in for SWL 31. Robert and Teresa from Hendersonville, Tennessee, checking in tonight as they can kind of sit back down and put there in the balcony and have some refreshments. Over to SWL 65. 65. SWL 66. SWL 67. You know, let me see. I think did I not see Oregon on there? I saw them earlier. Canby, Oregon was in earlier, probably when I was testing. I'm going to don't see them around now. I'll get Bill checked in. 67, if you're watching the replay, you are checked in. SWL 68. Now, I know the wind is playing havoc with my antenna. I can hear the SWR, the RF getting into stuff. SWL 69, Kenny, who is listening somewhere from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I thought I saw Tulsa in earlier. Checking to see if he was on the video. Anyway, Kenny, I've got you. If you're watching the replay, I've got you checked in. And then let's see if he's run out of the radio room yet. SWL 70.
Hello, Dennis. No, we're still right here. Just enjoying a really nice evening again here in Morgan Canyon. Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah, it's a little breezy, but it's a good breeze. It was a nice day today. And it should be tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Got you checked in, Mark, and you sound good on AM and sideband. Thanks for checking in. Then over to SWL 71. Let me scroll back down. Boy, I've got too many Mises. I'm sure I saw Stan. Indeed, checking in, working 3 QSO parties today. 7QP, IN, and New England. I've been wearing out OR in Arizona. I guess it helps having an amp. Yeah, it can. You know, I listened in earlier when I was tuning things, and the signals on 40 meters were just roaring in. It was all these stations doing 7QP, and I thought, what is 7QP? It's all these 7 calls, and I didn't get it. So I looked it up, and 7QP was all the 7 land stations, which is what, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Arizona. I'm missing one. Idaho. Is it Wyoming? No. Anyway, there's another one in there. It was all the 7 stations that are the stations that you want to catch. And so that's why there was a lot of 7 calls. Also, went to 20 meters, and here were the 7 stations, the big gun 7 stations going in on 7QP. I'm not sure what the other, Indiana and New England QSO parties, and then the 7QP. So Stan has been heating up the Radio Shack tonight. Sounds like fun. Those are the fun contests. They really are. Everybody's having a good time. Nobody's, the pileups aren't so vicious. Like when you have that, when somebody's out on Gilligan's Island and they've got the coconuts making the radios work, and then it gets kind of nasty. But for these kind of, it's kind of fun. All right, Stan, thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 72. SWL 73. SWL 74.
Yeah, Dennis, please proxy 74 in, please.
All right, 74 will get checked in as she is probably busy doing stuff. But the 50,000 watt transmitter is ready to leap at a moment's notice. Got her checked in. SWL 75. SWL 77. Shortwave listener 78. That is Richard. Scrolling the list here. What's going on? There's Albert and the gang waving a hand. And the Bob and Steve show. Yeah, I forgot to see what's going on. I mean, I can always tell when the jingle singers are in a good mood that the party from Ohio has done their thing. In the green room, of course, talking about old times, handles, and antennas and tubes like the 6L6. You know, the 6L6 is featured. It's a 6L6 GC. If you go to the oldtuberadio.net page, you will see it's all lit up and glowing. I would turn it off, but that would mess up a whole bunch of stuff. So just be careful if you want to touch it. But the 6L6 is glowing on the oldtuberadio.net page. And handles, my old handle was Canary. Because I had a canary back in high school, I had a canary in my room, and people could hear it coming over the +2 microphonium. And they say, thanks for the memories. Yeah, I say that too for all the shortwave listeners and the tube radio stations and all the crazy things that we did and have yet to do. I just wish we could have archived all those other shows, other nets. But it's sort of on its way and out. So if you remember it, not. If you remember it, good. And it's always cool to have somebody come back from 20 years, pull the radio out of the closet and say, wait a minute, how come you guys are still on? Let's see, I was looking for Richard. I think this all started looking for 78, and I don't see him on there yet. From Washington, let's try SWL 79. SWL 80. Then over to page 4, SWL 81. And I do believe that Mr. Unicorn is on one of my screens here, waving a hand. Yes, he is. 81 checking in. Good evening, and all the SWLs. Big day at the beach. Big day at the beach today. I don't know what beach, but I hope it was good. I hope you found some seaweed and starfish and seagulls and pelicans and sand crabs, lifeguards, and all that other good stuff. All those other good things that you might see at the beach. Next, we've got SWL 82.
82 checking in from the ditch banks of Iowa, where the water is flowing.
Yeah, they're letting, I noticed I drove by one of the irrigation canals and the water is flowing. So the petunias must need a little bit of H2O here in the Central Valley. You are sounding good, and if I had a waterfall display like Jeremy does on Friday nights, I'm sure you would be exploding it like you do on that one.
Yeah, I try to do that. 100% distortion. All right, thanks, Dennis.
All right, looking good. And Ray notes my signal is better. I don't know. I actually think I'm running low power, and my audio is lower. I think my audio... Let's take a look here, ladies and gentlemen. I think my audio is actually... which one is that one? Yeah, I think my audio is actually a little bit lower tonight. There's the scope. Hello, radio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Occasionally get 125 peaking, and I ran it down to keep the negative peaks a little bit lower, but I might boost it a little bit. It's just I still don't have things the way I want them to be on the audio. So I was being a little bit careful, but I agree with you. I think I actually do have it notched down just a hair, but still Still looking fairly good with the other things. All right, continuing on. I need to get through this roll call because we got to check in radios, doggone it. Let's see. Let's go to SWL 84. I thought I heard Jerry in there earlier. Hello, 84. Well, I will get him. SWL 85. And we'll proxy in 87, 88, and 86. When we can, over to SWL 89. SWL 90. SWL 92. Shortwave listener 93 Louis 93 checking in earlier. SWL 103. Who was that? Over?
Rick 98, skipping 98.
I am skipping 98. You're in my blind spot. And that's what, when someone is in your blind spot and you honk the horn. I'm glad you honked the horn. That's Dave, 544. Out there in I think, did I hear you on the Friday night net on sideband?
Yeah, you got me Friday night too.
Yeah, sounding good. Sounding good on the sideband net as well. Also here on AM when the net control looks at the right part of the page. I mean, it's only right. It's only right there in front of my face. Thank you, Dave.
All right, thank you.
And then 103. I'm checking in Jeff. Cheesy Easy 103 because I saw a Facebook post. And let's see if this dude is out here. This guy is just like super loud on sideband. He is like the best looking signal on that waterfall. SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis.
And good evening, Crawdad at the microphonium in the AM mode tonight. You sounded good Friday night and glad to have you here on Saturday night. Thanks for checking in.
You're welcome, Dennis.
All right, Mr. Crawdad up in Auberry. Let's go down the hill over to Millerton, SWL 110. 5150 was checking out a radio last week. I was hoping he'd have it back up and running. SWL 111, Robert, I've got you checked in. I know you said it was noisy and you were listening, but if you want to give it a try, go ahead from Reedley, but I've got you checked in. Over. SWL 113. And 113 at an S7 on the meter here. Not doing too bad, Tom, and I've got you checked in. Over. All right. Thanks for jumping in there. Tom also checks in on Friday evenings on the sideband net. Here's another station that makes a good-looking waterfall. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
All right, thanks, Rick Shaw. Wayne is in. And let's see. Oh, a note. I just refreshed my page. A note from Robert. It says, Dennis, we have you on our 40-inch monitor. my apologies. You are life-size, and I can almost hear the wind blow in the background. Yeah. I was going to open the window a little bit and blow some air through here. It is. I can't see what temperature, what the little thermometer is reading over there, but it's a little warm here tonight. It would have been nice to have a little cross-flow ventilation, although it might blow the bozo off of the background here. All right, is my on the 40-inch monitor, is my tie straight? And my oversized shirt. This is the where is it? Yeah, there it is. This is the 33, the SWL 33 special shirt and the seersucker suit. And we've got all the lighting perfect, so next time, see how I look on the 60-inch monitor. All right, where are we going? We're waiting for tube radios. SWL 128. Let me scroll down. That would be the infamous, and he's always there, How could I miss 128? There he is. In between everybody else there, John Lee checking in tonight from Fairfax, Virginia. He's got 8 in a row. That's right. This is the last week of the roster. So for those that have perfect attendance, Ozo Control will be dropping you into the special thing. Or see who's going to be 00 next week. Let's go over to, and I wonder if you're working on any of the 7QP or the contests. Band 40 was just really roaring in here, 40 meters today. SWL 131. SWL 133. Shortwave listener 135.
SWL 135 checking in.
135 checking in. Sounding good. I heard you tuning something up prior to the net, and I think you're still on it. So I'll be curious to know what that is. It sounds great. Hello to another New York station, Smarty Jones out there listening. Thanks, Cliff. SWL 137. And let's see if Tony's made it over to AM. SWL 145.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. We made it.
All right, you're sounding good. Heard you on the Friday net. Seemed like you had a few issues, but you got them straightened out. We were hearing you.
Okay, yeah, I watched the replay this morning. Yeah, I got some tinkering to do, that's for sure, for Friday nights.
Yeah, replays are kind of nice. You can see what's going on. That's why I leave the S meter up. You can watch it back and give yourself a report. Sounding good from Course Gold. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis. Do you have the Echo link on? I've been trying to connect.
Oh, I have the Echo link on. I probably have it down and in the background because I want to get through the through the roll call here and get a few radios checked in. But I will hopefully turn my attention to that shortly. Oh, you know what? It looks like you are connected. Yeah. Hang on. I'm still only on one connection, and we'll try it out here in a little bit, probably after the 9 o'clock hour. But I see you. I see you there. So you made it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, because when I go out of town, I like to still check in, Roger.
Yeah, that'll be a way to do it. I had enough stuff set up to do the Echo link, so we will try that after we get a couple of radios in the gate here. Thanks, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Y'all hang around for a while.
All right, let me see if we're hearing. I know my noise level's up. Let's see how Course Gold is doing tonight. SWL 195.
195, very good, DR.
All right, 195 sounding good. All right, my theory has been disproved. We are getting everybody in tonight. Thank you, Jim, for checking in out of Course Gold, the Starliner. And there was I think that was John. Anyway, there was a breaking station. Who was the breaking station over?
Yes, sir. It's John. Yeah, Dan, it's been quite a while. See if you still have my number there, SWL 66.
All right, and we've got you, John, SWL 131, Mr. Rude, and also, let's go back. This is a blast from the past. This is what we were talking about earlier when we get stations, and John 131 was one of them. He was on our list years and years and years ago and came back, and then here's a guy who's been on the list for a long, long time, but he has no X's in the square for this check-in period, and maybe a couple others. But he sauntered into the radio room, and we are glad. SWL 66, hello, Witch Doctor, over.
Yes, sir, Dan. Boy, yeah, it's been quite a while. Had a lot of stuff going on, but we're getting back into it again, so I just wanted to jump in there and say hello to everybody. Hope everybody's doing real well.
The Witch Doctor.
All right, Jim, you are sounding good. The Witch Doctor 66. Like the highway, right? Like Route 66 from Chicago to Pasadena, making a stop in here in Midtown Fresno tonight on the old Tube Radio Network. You're sounding good. Good to have you aboard, and hope everything is going well. Thanks for remembering the Saturday night place to be.
Yes, sir. Thank you much.
All right. Thanks for checking in. When I forgot to mention that Bob and Steve paid off the credit cards. I was wondering why I wasn't getting a bill. I thought maybe someone was stealing the mail, but thanks. appreciate that. It's another one of those OTR stimulus packages. Let's try SWL 226. And any other stations that would like to get checked in on the roll call before we check in the radios. All right, I'm going to try and expedite because I know we are behind time, and there are some radios that want to check in, and a few people want to try Echo Link. You know, I have two. I guess I'm really anticipating a lot of radios tonight. I grabbed two sheets instead of one. Back in just a moment as I change things around for the tube radio mode of operation. OTR back in a moment. And the break OTR, go ahead, over. Hey, not a problem. SWL 48. I can't remember if I checked you, and I think I heard you on the Friday night net. And, of course, I'm hearing you here on the Saturday night net, Sam, so I've got you checked in, over.
Yeah, that wasn't me on Friday night net. The last few nets I did not check into on Friday night. Anyway, thanks, sir.
Okay, I guess I heard him. I heard them call you. That's what it was. All right, back in a moment as we switch over to the tube radios on the old Tube Radio Network. And you are listening to the old Tube Radio Network. We hope.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The old Tube Radio Network.
I got to start giving better cues. I don't think they can see my hand through all the garbage here in the rack. The old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. Hopefully yours will be one of them. Without any further ado, I will sign in for March 2nd, 2020 and say OTR is standing by listening for radios.
135, 135.
25.
All right, I hear 13525, and I think there was somebody else over.
Yeah, that was Paul up there on 45.
Okay, 45. So let's see. The first radio will be Cliff, 135. Go ahead and step up in the air chair. And then we'll go with Jerry for radio number 2, SWL 25, and then Paul up in North Fork. You will be radio number 3. There are good things happening in the green room. We'll see you guys in just a little bit. But first, as I sign in here for... This is 5/2/2020, and say hello to Mr. Green Arrow, over.
Hello, over.
You have brought something that is glowing in the dark to share with the class this afternoon, over.
Yes, indeed I have. SWL 135 here, bringing to you from beautiful downtown Burbank, California, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. See, 24 channels,
as advertised. 9 tubes. I think they all count, don't they? Those weird little tubes.
I think they do. If it's in there and it's kind of glowing or lighting up, they should count. Now there might be like, well, I don't think you have a Collins mechanical filter in there. Sometimes those look like a big silver tube, but you should find probably 9 tubes. There's actually a couple of transistors in there as well, I think, for the DC to DC conversion or something. But there are 9 tubes somewhere in there.
Yeah, including the big, gigantic 6GE5. I think that's the RF output. Great big huge tube right in the middle of the radio. Let's see, the microphone, as usual, is the one that comes with it. That's the General Charlie Mike-3, the CM3. Dark gray plastic, unamplified microphone.
And as we have found out, dropping all my papers on the floor, as we found out from prior episodes, probably like on a Browning, doing amplified microphones is not something that radio probably would do well with. It obviously doesn't need it. Audio is crystal clear, the signal is nice, and we have a picture for those watching the video, whenever that may be, of the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, which is actually the one from your shack. It's not very often. We see this picture every week, basically, but it's very rare that we see the picture and we can match it with the actual radio that is keying up on the desk. And so we're seeing the CM3 microphonium, and as you took this picture, you had it on channel 11, which is a good thing. And it looks like it might actually, I don't know how you did it. It's either receiving or transmitting because the S meter is functioning as well. So here we go. If you're watching the video, imagine yourself in front of this radio like Cliff is, because this is the radio that he's in front of. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that is the actual picture of the actual radio you're actually listening to. And, yeah, if the needle's up, it's probably because I had a lot of noise that day. Which is good for the photograph as long as it isn't wiggling around too much. I think if it was somebody talking, the needle might have disappeared in a blur, but it's probably just a high noise level that day. Can you see where the needle's at?
Yeah, it's S9, and it looks like it goes when the plus 10, 30 is green, so I'm going to say you're about 5 over S9.
Wow, that must have been a real noisy day. Fortunately, tonight, out here underneath the stars in the CB Cabana, I've got practically no noise tonight, which is unusual. I think last week I had like about 7 or 8 S units of noise. I got somewhere between 1 and 2 S units tonight. It's really nice and clean out there. And, oh, yeah, there was a question. I got a question of the day. This General CM3 microphone, do you happen to have anything, or maybe Harvey knows, or does anybody know what kind of mic element is in this? Is it a crystal element or ceramic or what? Because I left it in the sun this afternoon, and I was afraid I had destroyed it. But all reports, including yours, I guess, are saying it's still working. Yes.
Yeah, it's got plenty of audio. It doesn't sound too pinched. Like you're missing all the low frequencies below 500, or it sounds like a phone patch. Originally, I thought those were carbon, but the audio quality is always so good that I'm sort of doubting that. I'm doubting that that's a carbon microphone. It just seemed like it wouldn't have the quality that it does. And maybe there were certain, the versions of the CM3 you could buy carbon or a ceramic or whatever. It doesn't sound like a crystal, so we will see. If anybody has that information, on the information I have on the 9 tubes and 2 transistors, and the fact that it's at Sam's book 22 on page 45, I doubt they might say anything about what type of microphonium is there or not. But it's working. I don't think it has suffered any damage. Over.
Well, that's a good thing. Hello, 1212. Yeah, has it got any lows? Let's see, if I want to go for that carbon sound, I suppose I could talk like that.
Well, if you've got an old telephone, you might be able to unscrew the mouthpiece and dump the carbon element out and see if it looks about this. It looks like it does look about the same size as that CM3, so you never know. Radio number 1. Let me straighten the picture out. We're talking with the Green Arrow, Cliff, who is talking on a radio that looks just like this because it is the radio in which he's talking on, the GRT, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A, 24 channels, and in theory, you might say, oh yes, that was the old 22A caper. No, in these radios, they came with the 26 megacycle Civil Patrol channel in there somewhere, and that might have been their little secret way of having the radio capable with whatever that plug was in the back of going a little bit more than the 5-watt DC input because they could easily switch over to the 24th channel in the Civil Air Patrol and maybe still stay legal. Give us another transmission. Thanks for bringing it by. We just might hear another one tonight. You never know.
Yeah, thanks for letting me check it in. And, another question in case anybody knows. You mentioned that weird plug in the back. What kind of stuff do you hook up to that? I don't have any paperwork on this thing, so there's a lot of stuff I don't know about it. But do you or anybody else happen to know what that weird plug is on the back of the radio? Okay, yeah, with that, I'll let it go. Thanks for letting me check it in. See ya.
Yeah, in theory, if you have the proper plug or the proper jumpers, and I wouldn't say it's an octal style, it will do something that takes the radio from probably a 5-watt DC input to a 15 or more DC input and give you a little bit more output. However, on the radios in the past that we have tried, it also knocks the audio down a little bit, which you would expect. Gives you a little bit less headroom. So I'm thinking that was you're running Civil Air Patrol and you are now able to run the higher power without suffering the ire from the FCC. So there is probably a certain way to jump across the pins, or if you have the proper little plug to put in there, it will do that. And Harvey knows about that. I think he tried it on one of his. I can't remember if Chris tried it on his or not, but it typically gives you more signal, or more output rather, but it does degrade the audio just a bit, so not necessary. All right, a reminder, we are the Old Tube Radio Network. We've got Radio 2 stepping up. That'll be Jerry coming up. After that, Radio 3, Paul, Falcon, and before I say hello to Jerry, was there another breaking station? Somebody had really low audio.
I have really low audio? Hello?
All right, now you have really distorted audio, but okay, it is 37.
Am I distorted? Hello? I don't know what. Hello? What? Why?
I don't know. I hear you now, though. If you have a radio, we can log you in as number 4.
This is 37.
Say again?
37. Let me check something.
Oh, boy, that was a perfect transmission that time. Would you like to be Radio 4?
Yes, there it is. Now it's working.
Okay, yeah. Whatever you did sounded good. All right, you will be radio number 4. And thank you, 135.
And I didn't try that plug in the back. It's a tube that goes in there.
Oh, it's actually a tube? All right, it's something. You put something in there, and it connects the pins to do something.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think it's a tube, the way Harvey explained to me. It's a plug or tube, whichever. It plugs in the back there, and Lord behold, gives you more wattage, but, drops the audio.
Yeah, just not enough headroom on the extra power. All right, let's go to, hold on. This foot switch is just sliding all over the place. All right. And it's dark, and the floor is dark. It's this mid-century tile. It's like composition, whatever it is, vinyl composition tile. It's black, and it's hard to see anything. Hello, 25, over.
Hi, Dennis, and boy, everybody's sounding good. Both Chris's are sounding great, and can't wait to hear what Paul has to check in. Very quickly, I'd like to check in a Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB sidebander, two-piece radio on a non-powered banana mic. I believe the mic was made by Electro Voice. The red on the air light is on, and everything seems to be working. And let me look over here to the meters. Yep, it seems to be getting out. So anyway, thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
Okay, I'm entering it on the list here for radio number 2 at 9:15. Wow, where does the time go? And we're having from the two-piece radio, the classic. This is the Mark III from 1972 to around 1976 is when this radio was out and about for about $700 or a little bit more, a little bit less. Wherever you could find it. I don't know if a lot of places had these in stock. If you had to go in. I never bought one new. I don't know. I don't know if I ever knew anybody that bought one brand new. If you could walk into your favorite electronics store and it'd be on the shelf, or you'd go in and say, I want one of these, and they would call up Browning and order it for you, like ordering a car. And then at some point it would show up, and you'd make those $19 a month payments. Give us another transmission before you go on radio number 2. It sounds great.
Hey, thanks for checking it in, Dennis, and not much more to report. Upper side, lower side. In fact, I thought about trying to make this one work on the 30 lower side, because I do have the Subtronics, but I hate to get in there and rehook that thing in there. And originally it was hooked up on channel 1, and it was dedicated to the Subtronics VFO. But there's still no guarantees it would work. So I'm just going to leave this radio alone. And poor things. How old is it? 70s. I'm just 40 years old. I'm just going to. If it's not broke, don't fix it and leave it alone. Anyway, back to you, Dennis. Thank you.
Yeah, if it's not folk, don't bricks it. And it's neither folks nor bricks. It sounds good. It's radio number 2 tonight, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Thank you, Stan. Stan mentioning we're talking about the microphone for the MC11A. This is the Turner 350 ceramic. It certainly sounds a lot more ceramic-y than carbon, and that the MC6 used a carbon version of the 350. And I think some of the VS, like the VS series, were carbon microphones, because they just don't have that crisp ceramic audio. Thanks, Stan, for that, and thanks, Jerry, for the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Sounding good here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Next, we'll keep moving here and see if 45... Hello, Paul. Are you still tuned into the Old Tube Radio Network? Over.
Oh, yeah, still here. That noise continued on, and it moved around, so it's on my end, I think. All right. I'd like to check in my general radio telephone, Super MC9.
And back to beautiful downtown Burbank. I'll try the Super MC9. But we're doing good. Now, here's a radio. It may or may not. It's from your collection. But I know if it's the one you're talking on. And this is a little bit different. This microphonium has a little different look than what we had with the other radio. And I'll see if I can find anything about that. This sounds like it's a ceramic as well. I'm not sure. But anyway, take a transmission on the general radio telephone Super MC9. Over.
Okay. I'm not sure that's the radio that I was on there, but I think it is. Same microphone thing. The gigantic, heavy, not gigantic, but heavy microphone. I'll tell you about the microphone, it's kind of interesting. It's a ceramic microphone, CM-2 and it's very heavy. Zinc alloy, die-cast in satin foam, made by Turner. Believe it or not, that's what they call it. They only made it that 1 year. I don't think they had them on anything else. Back to you, Dennis.
Yeah, and like Stan was saying, it's the base, or I guess the design is the Turner 350, and there was a ceramic version. There was a carbon version that was used in the 6, the Super MC9 back to the ceramic version, again, providing the really nice audio. Now that's interesting. I think I told Cliff that the Super MC11A was showing up with 9 tubes. This one's showing up with 10 tubes. And I don't have the pages side by side to see what is extra or what they took out of the 11A. This does not have, I'm looking for the ECLL 800. Oh, it does. Okay. This does run the ECLL 800. I don't know if this is the first one to do that or if it was the MC8. But it's got some great audio, so take another transmission over.
Okay. Yeah, this is the start of the big radios. This is the one below the 11 and the 11A. They didn't make a 10. They make a 10 business radio, but no radio like this. Like you say, this has the ECLL 800 and everything. That's changed all the things. Has a VFO for each channel, I think. They call it the pass band tuning. Come up with a real bunch of good ideas on the things, and I'll tell you, they made a super radio from these all the way through the 12 before they went out of business. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks, Dennis.
Hey, thanks for bringing it by. A bit of radio history, especially here on the West Coast. This radio made out of their studios, out of their site in California. And they started in the, early 60s? Went all the way up through early 70s, and then, like you said, they got out early. Maybe too early, I don't know. It was a lot of competition with the high-priced radios, and they were sort of in the middle. They weren't really high-priced. They weren't really budget, although some of the earlier, like these, sold for $200 range, and for what you got, it was not bad. All 23 channels and the S-meter and everything else, so probably was they would have had to really raise their price and come up with something different. And right at that early 70s, the import radios were starting to come in, and the handwriting was on the wall. So some got out early, and some, like Browning, hung in there a little bit later. Radio number 3, the General Radio Telephone Super MC9. Thanks for that. All right, speaking of General Radio Telephones, let's head over to Radio 4, and that is Chris. Over. And he may have stepped away, but I've got him logged in for radio number 4. Are you there, Chris? Over. All right, let me take a break. You know what I'll do? Let me bring up the Echo link. I think Tony, if you're listening, Tony is on, and I got to remember how to do this. I got to bring up the audio and. Let me try something here. KB6GFD. Hello, Tony. Yeah, see if I could jump on our Echo link. I don't hear him. He may have stepped away. So what I'm going to do is I'll disconnect. That was that. I'll disconnect and see if Chris is back for Radio 4.
Yes, I am.
All right. You have the proverbial old tube radio floor at 923. And we are on a roll with the General Radio Telephones. Over.
Okay, I was away for a minute. I was in the other room there. But anyway, I want to check in my General Radio Telephone, the Super MC11A, 24-channel tuber that glows in the dark. And with the old man in the wheelchair, we are running this here with the stock microphone. Over.
All right, that Turner ceramic. And it seems like out of all of them, yours is just tweaked. Should I even say that? Peaked? Should I even say those two words? Yours is adjusted, calibrated, the best for the audio. fidelity-wise, you can obviously tell that is definitely not a crystal microphone in there. Give us another transmission, over.
Gosh, thank you, Dennis. But yes, no, I'm not sure what kind it is. It does work, though. I do know that.
Yeah, it works. It works great. Where did you? Was that a trade? Did you trade for that radio? Where did you end up getting that General Radio telephone?
I got this over here at the thrift store over here on Blackstone between Sierra and Herndon at the thrift store right next to the paint. There's a paint place right there. I can't think of it. But anyway, just to the north of Sierra on the east side of the road.
Hey, all right. And all you eBayers out there, take note. Sometimes the thrift store buy it now can turn into a good deal. And I'm assuming that you didn't have to pull it apart and refix it. It was working from when you brought it home?
Yes, sir, and it's $17.50 senior citizens discount.
Question.
Yeah, the question. Go ahead, over.
Chris, I hate to butt in, but I gotta talk about the garage can special. Anyway, that was it. Back to you, Chris.
Yeah, that was the ICO Sentinel Pro 23 channel with range boost.
Found it in the trash can.
In Lawrence, Kansas.
And checked in many times, and I don't know if you ever made the trip. I know we talked to you when you were in Lawrence, but I'm not sure what radio you were using.
What was I using then? I might have been using a Palomar SSB 500. If not that, I was on my Zachary T AM, where we did Chalk 11 there at times. I don't think I had the Yaesu back then. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know if you were on the 301 or not, but I remember you at late night. Back when, man, people would stay up all night on Channel 11. You know, Greg Westernman was driving through deliveries, and Jim was up all night, and Richard Cucumber would stay up late. And when I had the wacky TV shift, I'd get up early, which was late. I'd be getting up at 2 in the morning, get ready to go to work, and everybody would still be up from the night before. So it was crazy stuff. Radio number 4, the General Radio Telephone Super MCLA. Give us another transmission, and glad you were able to jump in and bring that one by.
Okay, and I do have to remember one thing, Dennis. We did used to go out and go bowling on those nights, too, late night.
Yeah, back when there was a lot of bowling alleys, and they stayed open. They stayed open late. Now they don't. Well, they're not open at all now, but they open late and they close early. All right, sounding good. Thanks for checking that one in.
Okay, and that was Cedar Lane Bowling Alley, right there. Cedar and, yeah, and Cedar and Shields. Shields and Cedar. I get it right. Yes, that's where it was. All right, I'm out.
All right, thanks. Let me try the Echo link again, see if Tony KN6CPC is listening in from KB6GFD, over.
KB6GFD, KN6CPC.
All right, I got you connected on the Echo link. Of course, it sounds good, so you have that configuration set up okay, and you're hearing me and I'm hearing you. So chalk one up for another radio connection here.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Dennis. Jan, if I'm not around, could you please glance and see if I'm connected on the Echo link to check in when I'm out of town, but I'll try to key up and hang around to wait till after the show to try to connect to you. But, yeah, I'll always be one way or another trying to check in. Roger, Roger.
All right, sounds good. I don't have it up all the time, but when I do, I will keep an eye out. It's just another screen and another thing I have to watch out for, but sort of specifically looking for tonight. All right, Tony, I will disconnect with you, and we'll open it up for some other stations that might want to do that. We'll also be looking for more radios here on the Old Tube Radio Network, 73K and 6 CPC from KB6 GFD and the Old Tube Radio Network.
25. 45. 60.
KN6 CPC, we're...
I almost want to call bingo after that. Radio 5, step up into... And I say, who the heck is Radio 5? Radio 5, step up into the air chair. That would be Jerry, 25. We'll get you checked in. Next will be Radio 6, 45. And then after that, Joe will be Radio 7 at 60. The Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, 25.
Hello, Dennis. Anyway, I thought we might at least have one Holocrafters check in. The Citizen Little Phone CB3A. The little orange light on the left-hand side is on. We're talking on a non-powered D104. Lollipop, as everybody used to like to call them, and by golly, that's I will say, well, anyway, I'll just throw it back to you for now, Dennis. Thank you.
There's another radio sounds as good, almost as good as the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. Now, the Hallicrafters early little phones, I know, did use carbon microphones on some of them, but I'm going to say that's obviously. If that's a stock microphone, it's definitely not the carbon microphone. I don't think with audio that sounds like that. Got a picture of the little phone. This one we're showing with the optional S meter. There was an optional VFO, receive VFO that went into the other blank rectangular panel on the left side of the channel selector. And I can't remember if you have neither, both, or one. Back to you.
Yeah, Dennis, actually I have both. I have the VFO on the left-hand side, and I have the watt meter, which is working, as my ex-German boss would say. And, yeah, everything's working. Actually, channel 1127.085 is channel C on this particular radio. And... anyway, that's about it, Dennis. Pretty simple radio, and I'm glad it's working, and reminds me of the old days when they used to fire up the Holocrafters FM 1000.
Sure does. The FM 1000 has the Hallicrafters little red, lowercase h, red dot logo. Just like that radio, it was produced in, that's 62 or 63. The FM 1000 is 69 or 70. And I believe by that time, Chicago, Illinois had sort of farmed out to Tokyo. Well, a lot of imports. But this is definitely not an import radio going on. The Hallicrafters sounding quite nice. We'll go 12-volt DC. I didn't go 6-volt DC. Earlier radio on Sam's CB5, and only 7 tubes is all it needed to sound that great. On the little phone, our radio number 5. Give us one more transmission before you go. I've got one of those from the collection of SWL37. It used to be right behind me, but I had to move things out of the way so it wouldn't get broken. But it is here in the shack as well. Cool-looking radio. Back to you. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thanks for checking it in, and you already worked your tail off over there, so don't be moving anything around. And I know, just the small shack that I have, every time I try to remove a coax, I look back and I go, my goodness, how does all that stuff get all wound up? So. It's like gremlins or something. I don't know. But anyway, thanks, Dennis, for checking it in.
Thanks for bringing it by. Radio number 5 here on the Old Tube Radio Network. All right, stepping up into the air chair next will be Paul, the Falcon. There may be a couple of Falcons up there in North Fork. I want to say hello to Jimmy Fielder. Enjoyed the railroad video to Tehachapi, where where my dad used to run the last of the steam engines up and around. And I watched that train, the train video, and indeed about 2 minutes in, just before they signed out, they have the locomotive coming right at you through the station, and they do the cue, that you know, they do the cue. Now, it wasn't, when you read the lore on that, it wasn't where we're doing a cue because we were doing a cue. It was just how they were announcing coming into some area or to a stop. But it is the Morse code cue. And I remember when I started restudying my code 30 years ago or 35 years ago, somebody mentioned that, and I'm about 1.5 miles away from a railroad, from a train track, and occasionally I can hear the trains, and so of course I started listening, and it was true. You would hear that occasionally. You would hear them sending that cue signal on the horn. Yeah, da, da, dit, da. Or so. Listen, all you code guys, you might know this. When they're approaching the crossing, see if they still toot a cue. Some of them do really well. You can tell those must be the old ham guys because they know how to do a cue. Other ones are kind of lazy. Where are we going? Paul, Radio 6. Are you there? 45 over.
Oh, you bet. The noise is so weird tonight, I'll tell you. Anyway, I can hear you well. So I'd like to check in my ICO Centennial 23.
Been a while for the ICO. Let me head over to the E, Electronic Instrument Company, Corporation, something like that. I think that's what Phil told me that it was. And what is the model number again? Over.
It's a Centennial 23.
All right, let me see if I... Oh, look at that. It pops up and it even has your name on it. Image from the collection and courtesy of Paul, SWL45. You know, it reminds me of, I want to say an Allied or a Lafayette that we checked in. We'll study that a little bit, but there is the radio, and I hope that's probably the one we're talking about.
That's my radio, the one I'm talking on. Nice looking radio. Nothing real fancy about it, but I'll tell you what, they got an all-copper chassis on the thing, underneath the thing, and it's beautiful inside as well as outside. Very simple on outside, but everything works well on it. I tell you, it's a brushed aluminum front with dark green wrinkle paint finish case. It has 10 tubes, 23 channels with 22A in the thing, which is unusual. This radio has all copper chassis, like I said, and it's just a first-class radio. I'm running a stock handheld Turner microphone on the thing, non-amplified. It came with the radio. Thank you, Dennis.
Good signal and good audio. I was looking at the stats here. I don't see anything about it being imported, although I'm thinking that it could be 10 tubes. Runs a 6 AQ5 for the output modulator. All 6-volt tube. No, there's a 12B6 in there. Don't show a list price. Don't show a date, but there it is. This one's working well. Squelch volume band spread. So it's got the RF, and I see a little mod meter and a PACB. This was your classic 23 channels S meter and a knob and a CBPA. You couldn't go wrong with this. They should have sold a bunch of those.
Yeah, this radio is not Sam. I think it's close to the number 9 in the ICO in there, but it's not in Sam's at all. So it's kind of a neat radio. I'd like to have one that they're not real popular. Thanks a lot, Senator Dennis.
Well, that may be because it wasn't important. I don't show a Sam's a reference number on that as well to give out. Radio number 6, the ICO Sentinel 23. Sounding good. Oh, you know what? Let's before you go, I haven't done this in a while, and I've got so much stuff in the way here. Let me saunter over to the radio table. Give a transmission, and we'll do a frequency check on the Sentinel 23.
Okay. I think it's pretty close to being on frequency. We'll find out for sure. Always like to have you run it once in a while. looking forward to the archives also. It'll be interesting. You know, I get on my iPad, I can't hear any background noise. You're crystal clear, so it's just a good old AM radio. Back to you.
Yeah, you had that extra 6 kilohertz. All right, you were at 270846, so, I don't know, 400 cycles low. It's close. It's and not a problem. The crystal is hanging in there just the way you'd like it. You got me. Oh, there it is. I couldn't figure out where I put my radio thing. I need ergonomically better stuff, or have the stuff hanging where I can do this. I've got too much paperwork. Radio 6, the ICO Sentinel 23, looking good and sounding good on your old tube radio network tonight. Thanks for bringing it by, Paul. Jingle Singers are saying they'd like to do some stuff, but before we do that, waiting patiently at Radio 7 was Mr. Hustler here. So, Joe, are you still there? Well, we can jump in on your radio.
Okay, Dennis, we're hanging in. I think we're warming up to talk. I'm on a Johnson Messenger, 223, on a stock mic, and I think this one might be ceramic. I'll let you confirm that. And doggone it, just a little something on how many tubes are basically in this radio.
Well, let me see if I've got any info on that. Nice audio by all the stations tonight, and this is stock audio. You know what? It's not showing. It's showing that it originally sold for $199 or $215 with the microphonium. Let's see what else. 120. Yeah, this was not. Couldn't go mobile that easy because they had other radios to do that. It doesn't show a Sam's number. So I'm going to say that probably had 10 or 11 tubes in it. Although, it's a 220, it's a Messenger 2, with 23 channels. So I suppose if I could find the tube complement on a Messenger 2, I can't imagine they would have added any more tubes in there to do anything. They just added an S meter in the crystals. So it is. That's why they call it a 223, a Messenger 2 with 23 channels. And looking and sounding okay. Give us a transmission.
I appreciate that, Dennis. Yeah, doggone it, looks like one time they might have tried to run it in a mobile. It has some work done to the sides of it, but clean. And a good solid radio. Doggone it, it's not much to look at, but boy, it's a pretty little radio for what it is.
It is another, like I said about the ICO that just checked in. Your basic radio, 23 channels, the S meter, squelch, great sounding speaker. So for those, in the late 60s, early 70s, just getting into radio and wanting something that wasn't very difficult to use and multiple pieces and connections, and you wanted to get on the evenings and take your 5-minute QSOs and have some fun on your favorite channel, this is the way to go, and the price was right. For that time, in the day, about the price of a moderate television, probably, a little black and white console, about $200. Sounding good. Radio 7, the E.F. Johnson. I was glad to get a real selection of radios, and we're doing that tonight. ICO, Helicopters, Johnson, General Radio Telephone, Browning, looking good. Take another transmission, and thanks for bringing it by. Let's see, the Echo Link is open. I'm looking, the Echo Link is open, so if anyone wants to give a shot on connecting the Echo Link, we'll see how that works as well. So before you go, give us another transmission on the E.F. Johnson.
Go TR. Well, thanks again, Dennis. Once again, thanks again. And it's a little bit, once in a while I find it a little bit confusing because the squelch is where you turn it on. The volume, that's the volume control. But I didn't realize it at first. I thought it didn't work because I was turning just the volume. Okay, Dennis, thanks a bunch, and we'll check her in another day.
All right, that reminds me, I had the Johnson Whiteface, and it's the same thing. The knobs aren't even marked very well, and I did the same thing. You turn it on, and then what happens is you turn it up You turn that squelch control up thinking that's the volume, and then you over-squelch it, and it's real quiet. So I guess they didn't change that on the Messenger 2. And, of course, the 223 is the same thing. So, yeah, you reminded me of that little tidbit. And you aren't the only one. You aren't the only one that has that problem. Hey, I see, who is that? Is that Stan? Stan's connected on Echolink. We'll pick you up in a second. And I think I heard that 20 on the break. Go ahead, Harvey, over.
Yeah, number 20 here. Does this sound all right, Dennis?
Yeah, it sounds marvelous, over.
Okay, this is my Sonar FS3023. A radio that I probably haven't had on in about 5-6 years. This is one that I picked up in from my friend Jack about 15 years ago. You should remember, Dennis, the only time I was 00 was while I was driving to Indiana.
KB6GFD. I see you, Stan. I'll be right with
on
you.
the phone with Cliff at 8 o'clock when I became number 00. So I checked in via the cell phone through his radio. Anyway, I picked up a lot of radios from Jack. I still have, most of them. You have one. The Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. That's from Jack in Indiana. Anyway, I just talked to him or texted with him the last couple of days. He's still kicking and working on radios and other things. But this FS3023 came from Jack, and he paints radios, the cases and all, and he painted this one. Not the original gray, but what he called glacier blue. It's this light blue, and this radio, as far as I'm concerned, is about as perfect as you can get it. The nice glacier blue color looks good, contrasts with the silver and gray on the front of the radio. Stock mic from Sonar, the hand mic, but it does have the large telephone-style cartridge with the amplifier in it.
Aha. What is, was it JT or Crazy Bob called that the piece of toast? The big microphone. It's got plenty of audio. The signal is good. I would almost like when we get a chance, when you get a chance in the next, year or two, hear that with a different microphone. I'm hearing a little fuzziness around the edge on the audio. I wouldn't say it's distorted, but I think changing microphones would tell the test of if that's the way the radio is or if that's the way the microphonium cartridge amplifier circuitry whatever is doing. But it's nice and loud, so there's no problem. The quality is okay. But you'll hear it. If you listen to the archives, you will hear that. Just showing a picture of the 3023. And yeah, I still got the Pierce Simpson. I ran that on Net Control for a couple of times and actually did streaming out of that. But I think it has a little bit. A lot of those radios have a little bit of a hum when I'm using an external speaker, so it makes it a little difficult to do the streaming part of it. So looks like we got. Plus, I'm getting RF tonight too. I see Stan is connected. We'll be talking to Stan on the Echolink here after your transmission. But everything is looking good. Back to you.
Okay. This is a different mic. D104. What's it sound like?
It's just less audio, but it's to me it still has the same characteristic. Take another transmission so we can get it recorded.
Okay. I turned up to D104 because it was almost off. How's that sound?
Okay, now that's audio volume-wise, it's getting like the other one. I actually think your stock mic sounds a little bit better. It's a little bit louder, and I'm still hearing the same anomaly. So I'm going to say it's not the microphone, and I'd go back with the stock microphone you had.
Okay, let me try one more thing. Hold on.
Oh yeah, that stock microphone is definitely louder and punchier all the way around. Again, I'm being super critical. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but boy, it's made. It's like the general radio telephones. It's definitely made for that to be used on that radio. Over.
Okay. Is the fuzziness gone?
You know, I would almost venture to say that around the edge fuzziness is gone, but again, your intensity, your modulation percentage is down. But I think it's actually a little bit cleaner.
Well, I had the Harvey range boost on. I didn't notice it, and then I went, oh, look at that. So I turned that off. Anyway, yeah, Sonar FS3023, Glacier Blue. Love this radio. Has not been on for about 5 years. All the controls are a little scratchy. I hear you just fine where I've got things set now. But I will have to go in there and, clean everything up. But, oh, yeah, I love this thing. It's where I can reach it and plug things in. But I on the computer last couple of days, so I kind of indicated to him, hopefully check the show tonight if you can. And then I mentioned it. He works on working on a couple of Mark IVs back there right now, in amongst all the other stuff he does. And I still haven't got to half the radios that he sent me. And when I said he sent me radios, he sent me approximately 20 radios. So they're still in boxes. But one's already promised to Cliff. He's listening. I haven't forgotten Cliff. Anyway, I've got to get that one too. But anyway, getting close to the end of the show there, so I'll stand by. I've got one more to check in. I'll do that after a while. We'll go back to you then.
All right, back to me in the studio. Yeah, that radio is really clean now. Just, of course, it isn't loud, but there ain't a thing wrong with the radio. Super clean audio. And it is working great. So I was going to say they must have arrived in a Mack truck to get that many radios, but maybe it's the little individual boxes all stacked up. Little boxes. Remember the song about little boxes? Radio number 8 is the Sonar FS23. Thanks, Harvey, for bringing that by. I want to do some work. We're going to move over to SWL71 and the Echolink. The jingle singers want to do their thing, and that's a good way to ID. So let me do that while we can.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
And then I also want to say hello to, let's see, SWL78 is waving a hand to Richard. Sometimes from Everett, Washington, but out and about in Wildomar, good old Wildomar, CA. 78, we will catch you with the link to check in there if I put on the right screen. Good deal. And then let's see if I jump over to this screen and Stan, if I don't know what kind of a delay you're on, but we'll see what happens. We'll try a K4SHW. Find out what's happening on the ham bands with the contests. KB6GFD listening. Go ahead, Stan.
Roger, K4SHW. Yeah, I was working 3 of them today. Don't have anything else to do since we're sheltered in place. But it gets kind of hectic trying to run the logbook on 3 of them. But bands were pretty good today. I think a lot of that was because a lot of states still have sheltered in place, so it was pretty good. I ran them last year, and I didn't have an amp. This year I do. I think it makes a little bit of difference, but you ought to get on there. I could have probably talked to you. I heard a lot of California stations today. It's been real good. In fact, it's going to 7QP is on for a couple more hours, but I think I about had it. It started 9 our time and 6 Pacific time, so it's been pretty long. But had a good time. I got to thank you, Dennis. You're the one that got me into this mess, ham radio. So it's been great, though. I should have done it 50 years ago, but had a good time doing it. Over.
Yeah, I never heard of the 7QP. If I had, I didn't remember, and I actually had to go to the ARRL website and look it up, and then it was any 7 call stations are the stations you want to catch, and so they sit out there and they give you the contacts. And I was listening on 40 meters. There were some really big 7 calls coming in, and I went to 20, and I was hearing 7 calls, and then I kind of put it together. And I guess you said simultaneously and at the same time there is a couple of QSO parties going on as well. So there's always something going on the weekends. It seemed like the ham bands were doing pretty good this afternoon. I didn't hear much on 11 meters or 10 meters. I heard South America come in. So those are the contests I like, the ones where somebody's just trying to make a contact. It goes quick, but it's not one of the things. If you actually want to rag chew a little bit, a lot of times the stations might jump off and talk to you for 60 seconds, unlike the DXpedition contests where if you can get in 5 seconds, that's good. If you can get in 3 seconds, that's even better. But good to know you're having fun. And yes, I do have the doublet, the 135-foot doublet with the ladder line in the box ready to go up sometime soon. And no doubt I'll be chatting with you. Back to you. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, it was doing pretty good today. A funny story right quick. I ran the Georgia QSO party a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still using a ham mic on my 7300 because I hadn't decided if I wanted to do a wireless jabber or a foot switch with a regular mic. And she felt sorry for me trying to log and talk on that thing at the same time. So I went ahead and got a Heil ICM. Got it in. I got a boom and a foot switch. So I'm going to start running that next week. So worked out pretty good because I need 3 hands without that. Over.
Yeah, I know exactly how that is. When I started doing OTR on multiple computers and check-in, sign-in sheets, I went to the Heil foot switch, and it works great. It's down on a tile floor, and it moves around a little bit because it's not on carpeting. And those watching the video can see me jumping around sometimes, trying to find the foot switch. But boy, it does definitely make a difference. All right, Stan, good to hear you, and I'm glad you jumped in. Stan is from Dallas, Georgia. We were talking, for those who just jumping in here, talking via the Echo link up, which you can do if you are a licensed amateur radio person. It is not radio per se. Depending on how you get into it, you can sometimes dial in on a repeater and link up that way, but it is another aspect of a ham radio, and nonetheless. So 73, Stan, thanks for jumping in so we can test out the Echo link, and I will hope to hear you on the air sometimes. Maybe, looking forward to giving you a point in the California QSO party. 73 K4SHW from KB6GFD. Over.
Yeah, Roger, Dennis. Any other hams out there, if you're on QRZ, you might want to look, Dennis. I almost have my bio on there, so if you want to see what's going on with me, I kind of put the whole thing in there. So it's good to talk to you, and I'll be back on checking in next Saturday night. KB6GFD from K4SHW.
All right, and we are uncanny and back to listening for the radios. Thanks, Dan.
60.
And hello, 60, over.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Doggone it, we'll need some help on this one. I'd like to check in my Robin T, 123B, Baser Mobile, with the stock mic, the original mic. How are we sounding so far?
So far, so good. I'm going to get the picture of the Robin. I believe you said it was the T123B. I know I have a shot of that here somewhere. And let's see, there are a couple of different stock microphones. I think there was a desk style. I'm just looking to see if the picture I have, and it's Cliff's picture, shows the desk mic. A lot of his do. Oh, no, it actually does. It shows the, it looks like a small black hand microphonium. Is that the one you've got?
Yeah, so it says on the back of it, Robin T123, made in Japan.
There it is. Doesn't sound bad. Doesn't have a lot of low frequency response to it, but it's got plenty of audio. I know that radio, unlike the 123, has the range expand. So if we want to test that out, sometimes, flipping the switch, it gets a little crackly and does things. Sometimes it doesn't do anything, but we want to check out the range expand. We can do that. But so far, so good, and I'll give you a signal report next go-around. Over.
Okay. We'll check the range expand. Right now I have it on. And right there it's off. I don't know if that made a difference or not. And we're putting it back on. I don't know if that made a difference to you, but it does have a modulation light, and she's a blinking.
Yeah, it made a difference. I don't know if you ever watched the video replay, but I left the meter up, you can see. And your signal is good. Your signal is up with your other radios, the 25, 27. Signal's right up there with that, so no problem. And the audio, even though it's not with the hand microphone, and it typically probably shouldn't be, I wouldn't call it full fidelity, but it's certainly loud enough. And it's moving, you're getting some good forward movement on the S meter, so no problem. And yes, the range expand is something you want to use with that microphone. So it's probably set up for that. If you had an amplified D104 or something, obviously I don't think you'd need the range expand, but with that, it's a perfect combination. Over.
Okay, well, we'll continue using this one till we decide to make a change. But it has off gain, fine tune, squelch, and the squelch is also a pull tone. You can pull it to change the tone. And it has its volume. And a few nice things on it. It has for external speaker light. And it has a PA with a PA light. And it has your TEX and your RX.
Yeah, you can see with the mod light, when you run the range expand, you'll definitely see the intensity. But I think out of that Panasonic chassis, it seemed like Robin got the okay to be the deluxe radio out of all of them. It seems like they had the most lights and everything else. I know some of them, some of the same chassis don't have a lot of the stuff that the Robin did. So maybe they paid a little bit more to get it in there. But the RF gain is a nice feature. The fine tune is a good feature, and these radios always do a good job. So you can run it like that. You can put some amplification in the microphone. You don't need it, but the 123B is a good talk. I do believe it is actually plate modulated, 11 tubes. And if you go 11 tubes as well, runs 12 volt DC. And if you go to oldtuberadio.com and search for the Robin T123B, there's an operator's manual and a schematic. So that operator's manual might be fun to look at for that radio over at oldtuberadio.com. Radio number 9 tonight, the Robin T123B. Joe's at the microphone, and give us another transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
Okay. I thank you, Dennis, for letting me turn this one on. Doggone it, the backside of it, I'm a little bit confused because it has a plate and a load. It also has for the meter adjustment. Automatically there you can adjust your meter. But that plate and load, I don't know nothing about it.
That is probably, they put an adjustment that's normally internal and made it external. There may actually be something, if you took a look at the operator's manual, where it would tell you what to do. I imagine it's going to be close to what you would do with the linear amplifier, where you're tuning. What is it? You're tuning for max, and then you're loading it. And I don't know if they would have you load it up and then back it off a little bit. But methinks maybe that operator's manual might say, have a picture saying, here's what you would do. And I don't know if you'd look at an external watt meter, and I would think although it might be kind of difficult because you got to look at the meter in front and put it on RF and do that. But I would say from the way it looks on the S meter and comparing your other signals that it's probably put where it should be. It's not backing down with the audio. Looks pretty good, but that's a little that's your own personal peek and tweak adjustments, but maybe no adjustments necessary. Over.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave it as it is, and until we get maybe a manual, get a hold of it and look at it. Yeah, we've got it in line with the meter, and she seems to be modulating real nice. And I think the wattage, I haven't checked it yet, but I'm getting around to it. It's just a couple of days old, and you'll be hearing a lot more of it.
All right, perfect. Yeah, that could be a daily driver for sure, and of course, a decent player here on the old Tube Radio Network for Radio 9. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thank you, Dennis.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead.
Please tell me you did not hear that really nasty feedback I just got in here.
I heard something. I thought it didn't quite sound like a Browning, but it might have sounded like another radio talking to another radio.
Yeah, for sure. Oh boy, where to start? First of all, the gentleman that just checked in at 123B did an absolutely phenomenal job of explaining it, describing it. I got really excited to think about those radios, and then I thought, wait a minute, that's the one I'm waiting to check in. Another 123B, this time from the Radio Lounge, with the exact same radio, exact same microphone, exact same everything. The only thing I can add is that mine, I decided to just kind of put my hand on top of the radio just to see if it was still as annoyingly hot as it seems to run in the past. And I can confirm that. It's like, it's 130, it's at least 137 degrees on the top of this radio. I put my hand on it for like a nanosecond, and I walked away and I was doing something else. I was like, man, why does my hand hurt? And I realized it's because this I got burned on my own radio.
Funny how that happens. And it's all convection cooling, and the tubes don't mind a little heat. It's the other parts. It's those carbon resistors and capacitors and things that don't take the heat as well. The tubes don't really care. And there are some radios that run hot. I think I've heard people say that like the 240D and the Robins do run hot. I can't remember my Harvey was talking about the Pierce Simpson Guardian 23. That doesn't even have vents. That's got vents on the side. The whole top is solid. So I know that that runs hot as well. We have done the range expand test with your radio before, and it's obviously that when you turn yours off, I almost don't hear you. So definitely have to have it on with the stock microphonium. Good quality on the audio. It's good to have them back to back to hear how they sound. And yeah, it's sort of. It's very, with the stock microphone, it just kind of loafs along. It's very unassuming, but those radios with a little amplification can get really loud. But for rag chewing and what we're doing here, I think the stock microphonium works just fine. And with that, you've put us into double-digit radios. Over.
Oh, good. Well, for what it's worth, I think that that other gentleman just sounded great. That's kind of if you listen really carefully, each one of these radios that you've been hearing tonight has a distinct audio quality to it, and I think that's really cool. It's not that often. I know a couple folks have the 123Bs, but it's not often that I really super pay attention to the audio quality that's coming out there. So that was really cool listening to it. I've never heard myself on my own one.
But I'm sure you realized I have switched gears on you, and even before I keyed up the other one, I think I gave myself away with my little unintentional mishap there. But I am, I've tried to pull a fast one. I'm on my Robin 123 with the Magic Eye tube, and I'm kind of afraid to do this. I'm going to put my hand. Oh yeah, man, this radio. It's been warming up for a couple hours now. You're not going to be making any easy bake oven cakes on top of this one. Probably the other one, not this one.
Maybe that's where it puts all its talk power. Yeah, I sort of realized when your audio got a little bit louder, and so I went and immediately switched the picture to the T123, which I remember for some reason just has more audio punch. They both sound good, but without the range expand, that one seems to be even louder. And I think it's just the fact that it encourages you to, it's like sitting up straight in your chair. Sometimes someone goes by and you got to sit up and pay attention. I think because you have that magic. Where's the full screen here? Yeah, because you have the Magic Eye tube and you see the winking, blinking lights, it just kind of makes you stand up and talk a little bit louder.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's kind of a pleasant thought. I was almost going to make some sort of a comment about it's been almost 2 months now since anyone has had to pay attention to me. Yeah, but we're not going to go there. Yeah, this one, I don't know what it is. This 123, no Bravo, it's older. It's definitely crustier. It's been urinated on. No, not by me, by the cat long before I got it. It is not definitely not the prettiest radio. Actually, I don't want to use the U word. I don't want to say ugly. It's not going to win best in class at the Monterey Concours d'Elegance. But for some weird reason, I've always appreciated using this one. I don't know if it's because I don't have to scream into it late at night. I don't know if it's the fact that it's a pretty cool companion on camping trips when you want to do the DC mode. But I don't know. It works. It works great. It's fun to use, and it doesn't burn your hands.
It doesn't burn your hands. Good deal. I switched over to the Orban loudness meter because that is a loud radio, and I was checking it, and you are. I should probably do it on each radio that checks in, so we have a video representation of where it is on the loudest. But it is right up there where my audio is going into the sound card. So that means it's in the don't touch it mode. You've got everything dialed up perfect. We're talking to Mike, who's on Radio 11 tonight. The Robin T123, the 123B that we had back-to-back was their radio from 1972 to 76, and this is the radio that came before that, 72, pre-1972. And I think this is not the Panasonic chassis. This was a different mode all the way around, especially with the Magic Eye tube. It will run 12-volt DC. It says it's 11 tubes, 2 transistors, and it's in Sam's CB35, page 95, for anyone that wants more information. So give us another transmission. I think Harvey said he had another radio, so before we sign out tonight, we will pick that up, and anybody else that wants to check him. But I'm glad you managed to get into the radio room tonight for a pair of Robins.
Well, thank you, and I'm certainly glad to have the privilege to operate these guys and really to listen to everyone else. Even after all these years, it never ceases to put a smile on my face. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it, 73. And on that, I'll send it back to you. Thank you.
All right, Jingle Singers want to do their item of interest. Let's see if we've got them even tuned up. Yes, we do.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all and
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Wow, it looked like they were. I'll have to give them some demerits for being over modulated, or maybe that's my fault. I guess I'm the guy at the controls here. I know some people are signing off. It's getting late. Good night and hello to you, Captain Robert. And oh man, I guess that's a compliment. Thanks, Ray. Because after working all week, OTR is like that favorite TV program. Yeah, with the nutcake with the seersucker suit that you've been wanting to see, and you sit down to watch a bit, and then you wake up at 4 a.m. on the couch with a serious neck ache. And yeah, like the old days, when you would wake up on the couch at 4 a.m., your TV screen would be going shh because there'd be no picture. See, now everything's 24 hours. Well, OTR is like that. If you wake up at 4 a.m. and you're on Channel 11, you will probably be getting the white noise. Thanks, Ray. That's actually a very nice thing to say. All right. Are there other stations that would like to check in before I clear frequency and put all this gear out of its misery?
Me?
Yeah, like that guy. Yeah, I'm looking at I definitely don't have my SWRs. It says it's good, but I can tell when it's off because I'm hearing RF into the shack tonight. I think something's going on with all that wind. Go ahead, Harvey, with your transmitting item.
Yes, the R68T68 Browning Golden Beagle from Browning Lavatories with the custom D104 Browning Medallion microphone. Earlier, somebody was talking about a Shure microphone that fell apart. The spring sprung or something.
That was me, Harvey.
What model microphone?
Oh, I don't know. I have to dig it out of the closet. It's in a bag with a lot of other mics.
Does it have the red and silver Shure tag on the front?
Yeah.
Is the front kind of grayish?
Oh God, I'd have to pull it out and take a good look at it. It's been quite some time. It's in the bag. Doggone it. I'll have it I'll have something for you on the next one, on the next OTR.
Okie doke. I've got a Shure model CB44 hand mic right here, and it's even got a tag on it that says the cord was flex tested. Wow. Anyway, it's wired for I think a tram, something like that. Oh, it's triple flex tested. Wow. Okay. Oh, and on the back of the tag it says 1 is black receive, 2 is transmit red, 3 is the mic, white wire, and 4 is ground. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, I've got a couple of Shure mics here, and some are metal, some are plastic. This one's plastic front and back. And when you take the screws out, around the screws are springs. So when you take it apart, you gotta kind of be a little careful, otherwise the springs fall out and you lose them.
Well, you know what? We didn't lose them, but we know it has tension springs on it.
Oh yeah, I know about that. This one's all together. I believe it's got all the springs in it and all that stuff. I think what you said was you weren't sure how to get it back together, but I kind of know how, so if you're not sure, just we can do a telephone thing or something.
Okay, Harvey, appreciate it. Yeah, no doggone it. I was noticing when I pulled the the tone on this radio. Boy, it sure makes the radio sound nice. Hey, okay, appreciate it, Harvey. We'll get with you on the next one.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll be standing by, Dennis.
All right, thanks for bringing by the Browning Golden Beagle. The Browning Lavatories Golden Beagle R68 T68, and I'm out counting and mounting and listening.
I'll be checking in a minute.
Was that for me?
No, it was Chris. What'd you say, Harvey?
Somebody keyed up. I'm not sure if that was for me or somebody else.
No, I was just waiting. I was going to check in when you got through doing what he was doing. Anyway, Dennis is 37 here.
All right, let me grab the proper paper to get you checked in. Clear the big page so we can get your radio, and go ahead. You are Lucky Radio 13, over.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to check in my Courier Royale 23-channel tuber that glows in the dark with the blinking lights and all the knobs and everything. And we're running this here on the amplified D104 lollipop, over.
Courier with the amplified microphonium sounding good. Courier, their top of the line radio, probably of all times when you're talking about their tube radios. They made a lot of radios, but the Royale with the colors and the, was it Crown Regal? I don't know if you have to take a sip. I know you're a teetotaler. I don't know if you have to take a sip of some type of alcoholic beverage when you key up on that or not, but I think anything will do.
Years ago, I would say probably yes.
Logging it in as Radio 13 at 10. My gosh, it's 10:20 already. Time flies. The suit isn't even starting to itch yet. That's usually how I can tell when it's time to sign off. So I must be having fun. Let me put up the wow. That's a close-up picture. Let me put up the close-up. And what lights are you going to light up? You're going to light the modulation light, and there's two other lights. I don't know if they will light up or not when you take a transmission. Go ahead.
The one by the S meter, that one comes on when I key up, but it has a little blinker type thing in it. It's like a rotating light in it, but it's one light bulb. And then, of course, I have the standby light right there, right next to on the right-hand side of the dial. And then above the CBPA switch is my modulation light. Lets me know where I'm modulating. I can look at that, and I can look over here and see that I am modulating, over.
You can see that you are modulating, and those of us on the old tube radio network can indeed hear that you are modulating quite well on the Courier Royale, R-O-Y-A-L-E, our 13th radio of the evening. All of your, what appear to be 11 tubes, are working quite nicely, and no doubt the Collins mechanical 6 kilohertz mechanical filter is doing what it's supposed to do. Give us another transmission, and thanks for bringing it by, over.
Okay, well, I'll just let you know that here recently, Crown Royal has been advertising a new Royal Crown, and they still show the purple cover, so it'd be nice if I had one. But anyway, the cover is kind of neat. I wished I had a cover for the radio here to go with it, but don't have it. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in, that the Royal Crown is still doing it, but they're doing some other new stuff. So, I'm out.
Okay. And, 128. I should be giving UTC, right? It's 522. Then I don't I don't mess up anybody when I say it's 1020, and when it's 120 or 1220 or whatever 22 it is where you might be. Radio 13, the Courier Royale. Thanks, Chris. What other What other things do I need to know? X4000. X4000. I do not know what the deal is with the Echolink. It says name. Maybe it doesn't know who you are. Maybe it won't dial in because it doesn't think that it has a legitimate person at the controls. Because in theory, you should be able to go with the node 94810 and just go and click on it. Just dial down to 94810 and click, and it would say you are connected. Or you should go to 999, right? Go to the test server. Go to the node test server, which is 99. That's the best way to do it. If you've tried that, that's all the nines. I think it's 9999. And you connect to the server and talk to yourself and see if it's working. If you connect to the Echo Test server, you should be able to connect to anybody. All right, counting and amounting, and the jingle singers are saying, we're going to do our favorite song that we always do.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Went dead.
What's that? Over?
Well, it just went dead there for a minute. I thought you was getting ready to do something.
I'm getting ready to sign off, so that people are going to have their frequency back here.
Did you do the counting and mounting yet?
Negative. We have not heard the fanfare yet, but I do see Mr. Announcer and the orchestra sauntering up to the ribbon microphoniums.
Okay, that's what I was wondering for. I heard you say you were getting ready to, and you went there, and I said, well, what happened? Did the radio go dead? But no, you are alive and well.
This is the alive and well frequency.
Well, that is good. That is always good.
All right, let me get back into the control room here. Oh man, it seemed like it was a long day today, and even more. Still people listening in at this late hour from Sun City, California, at or near Equipment, Texas, Garibaldi, British Columbia, the UK, Centerville, Virginia, Auberry, San Francisco, San Jose. Hello, New Jersey. Derby, New York. New York should get a prize. They listen to me doing all my goofy testing, and I can't help it. They're going to have all sorts of blackmail on this station from what they've been hearing, and of course the unknown SWL. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. We are in Central California, just Channel 11. This is something that we have been doing. I say not just me, the transmitting stations, all the net controllers, all the SWLs since the mid-1980s, like 35 years worth of hanging around on Saturday evenings starting at 8 p.m., and talking about the tube radios, getting our tube radios fired up, an excuse to get on the air, whatever. Hope you are doing something like it where you are, whether it's an old radio night or radio night, or just get on the air and do stuff. Hope if you are inclined that you are studying for your amateur radio license exams. I know they're not doing a lot of exams right now, so now's a perfect time to study, and then when things open back up, you'll be ready to pounce. The bands are going to be getting really, really good so that you will be able to do something fun on whether it's Echolink or satellite stuff or 2-meter stuff or digital or whatever. Get out there, and you know you want to do it. Get out there and do it. So let's see. Let me... the jingle singers do what they were supposed to do? Yes, they did. So hold on. And let's see, who was watching on the 40-inch TV? Somebody was watching me on the 40-inch, and now OTR's on the big 55-inch TV. So I can do that 3D thing, right? You know, there's a little 3D for you. All right, let's where are the jingle singers? Yeah, give me 4,000. Give me time to jump out of the chair for a little bit, and then maybe we can run the gamut on the Echolink stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
This will be the current and final totals. All right, let's go over to the, where is it? Yeah, let's go over to the overmodulation camera. Yeah, someday, you know, I can see when I'm not talking, there's noise on the signal. It's coming from a ground loop. 60 SWLs checking in a night, 9 on page 1, 18 on page 2, 15 on page 3, and 18 on page 4. 60, not bad. And 13 radios. The most heard. Who was the most heard manufacturer? It appears, ladies and gentlemen, that it was not the Browning Laboratories tonight, but it was indeed a tie between the General Radio Telephones and the Robins at 3. Here's the rundown. Starting with radio number 1, the General Radio Telephone MC11A, a green arrow. We see his picture. We see that picture of the radio every week, but rarely do we actually get to hear that radio speak. And indeed it did tonight. Thanks, Cliff. Radio number 2, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the banana-style microphonium from Radio 2 from Jerry out there in Madeira Flats. Radio number 3, Paul on the General Radio Telephone Super MC9. And then Chris on his General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. So there's all the General Radio Telephones before 9:30, getting the power play, and sitting back and thinking they might have it. So we'll see what happens. But they didn't know the Robins were going to happen. The Hallicrafters CB3A Radio 5 from Jerry, the ICO Sentinel 23. Good to hear the ICO. Don't hear many of them. We used to hear a lot of ICOs on the air. Radio 6 from Paul. Hustler on Radio 7, the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223. Nice, good sound with that. He's got it tuned up perfectly. Don't touch a thing with that radio, Joe. Radio number 8, Harvey on the west side, the Sonar FS 3023 from the station in, did he say Indiana? I hope that station is listening to maybe the replay or the video or whatever and can hear how much we're enjoying your radios here on the Old Tube Radio Network. The Robin T123B was Radio 9 from SWL 60. The Robin T123B was Radio 10 from Mike, SWL 47, and then he jumped in on the Robin T123B, giving a trio of Robins and tying them for the most heard manufacturer tonight. The Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68. Second Browning of the evening was from Harvey. I'm sorry, the Browning, he's going to key up if I don't say this right, the Browning Laboratories Golden Beagle R68 T68. All right, Harvey, you can sit back down now. Radio number 12, and then Chris on the Courier Royale for Radio 13. Thanks for the stations that braved the Echolink. It seemed to work quite well. Didn't blow anything up here in the shack. And thanks to all of you who listen and get on the air. Don't forget, let's see, the Wednesday night net on 10 meters at 4:45 at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That is on the amateur radio frequency. Those of you who are in the skip zone or not in the skip zone, give a listen to 10 meters on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on 4:45 and check in, won't you? On Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, the sideband at 27365, lower 36. For those of you around that are tubed or untubed or transistored, or, in the skip zone, the RF zone, check out Jeremy's Ditch Bank SSB net. Lots of good stuff there. Also a YouTube video where you can see your signal real time as it beacons around the globe. And then, let's see, is that it? And then this, of course, this net every Saturday at 8 p.m. So 73, everybody. Thanks to SearchLaunch.com and Frodex for the Nixie tubes, and thanks to all of you for putting up with the likes of the Old Tube Radio Network here for 35 years. It's fun, and we enjoy it, and it's a way to get on the air with your tube radio. Hopefully, you will find one in your closet. When you do, this is the place to key it up. Good night, everybody, from your Old Tube Radio Network, 73.
Great net as always, Dennis. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Stay healthy.
Good night, Dennis. Thanks a lot.
Dennis?
This is the basic Dennis. Over.
Which sonar did I check in?
I wrote down... Where did you go? I wrote down FS 3023.
Okay, that is correct. I thought one time you called it the 23. So, but you got it right, so now I will sit back down.
Okay, I may have misspoke, and it's on tape, it's recorded, so you can go back and say, you know what? He goofed up. But I did write, in my scribbly scribble, I did write FS 3025. I just looked at the video here. I guess, am I still streaming? Look at this. What is this? What is that? It's just dangling in the... I don't even know what that is. It's just in the middle of the... Oh, you know what that is? That's the secondary... I have a feed that goes up into the mic preamp, and I only need... that's the jingle singers. I only need one of them, because they're not in stereo, unfortunately. And so that is the other side of the stereo. I didn't notice that was hanging... There's all sorts of stuff hanging down, but that was pretty rude. Did anybody else know? Was that bugging somebody? It's bugging me now, so it's gone. And there's all sorts of other stuff. There's that. There's a couple of you that are fixing your shacks up and redoing the Radio Shacks. This one is in need of a serious makeover. I think it's in need of an entire new room. So we will see what happens. All right, I'm going to jump in out of the air chair. And then we're going to see if we can't get X4000 on some Echo Link or something. Anyway, I got to get out of this suit. It is rented, and I have to have it back by 11 p.m. Look at the wind. It is even worse than when we started. So I'm going to go out and see, one, if the 11-meter antenna is still upright, vertical. If the 2-meter antenna is still up, that's the one that blows over. So maybe that's why I didn't hear anybody tonight on 2 meters, because the antenna is bad. Good night, everybody. The Old Tube Radio Network, 73. I just saw your comment, Ray. Yeah, that's why we did. That's why we ended up doing the roll call, because it was like a DX. It was like being in a DX island, and you would give out, say, check-ins, and basically the stations that were the strongest, or like in a DX. When you're trying to get that DX thing, just finding that right spot to key down and check in, sometimes, and we specifically would look for the stations like that, not the guys that were 20 over. It's like, if we could get the weak station in, we'd go ahead and take them first, just for being clever and getting checked in. But like you said, back 30 years ago, I looked at some of the sheets, there were a lot of people. There were just a lot of people on. I look at names of the SWLs, it's like, where did these people go? What happened to them all? But it was fun. But yeah, the roll call made things, hopefully, we wanted to expedite too, so we want to spend time checking in the radios. All right, I'm going to turn off something. What am I going to turn off? We're going to turn off the video. Turning off the video. By doing that, good night, everybody.